This is the DeWalt belt sander that I'm going to be using through this demonstration. Works really well. 60 grit sandpaper. This is with one of the knives that I'll be sharpening. Works really well. It's not a DeWalt, I'm sorry, it's a Delta, and works real well. This is one of the knives that I'm going to be sharpening. This is before. It looks pretty good, but it's gotten pretty dull, and I'm going to have to sharpen my whole complement of knives. So this is just a view of the before of this knife, just before I put the belt to it and get it going there. So then we've got we're going to start this belt sander up, and we're going to give it the old 1, 2, 3 here. We're going from we're going to the left, and we're going to pull it to our left, and I do that without fail. I go from that side always, and then over to the right side. I just do that to keep it straight. But notice that we're pulling quite a bit of metal off of that, and it's got a nice good edge on that side of it now. Now here comes the real important part. The important part is when you're pulling it to the right, you're going to be pulling even more metal off, and you'll see it, if you can probably see it grinding down there. You're pulling that top edge off of there, and what's happening is it's creating a berm, a real fine thin edge berm that is rolling over onto the edge that you're seeing here now. And I'm feeling this right now, and you can feel that berm as a matter of fact, I'm trying to get so you can see that berm up against the belt, the blue belt there. You can see that berm kind of sticking out, and it's that's the most important part. There it is right there. It's a real good shot of that berm. It's just the lip of that edge is just rolling over towards us, as you can see here as I'm pointing it out with another knife. It's just rolled over just slightly towards us, and you can feel that all the way along the edge. You can feel that berm, and like I say, that's the most important part of the whole sharpening process. That's the key right there. Another good shot of that berm, and you should find it. It feels quite rough all the way along there, and it'll be all the way along the edge. That berm will be. And that's the trick. That's the first secret to a really sharp blade, is getting that berm to roll over on this side. The other side will be smooth. You'll feel the other side, and it'll be just plain old smooth. But on this side, you'll see that berm, as I'm pointing out right now. That berm will be quite obvious and evident. So that's the secret right there. That's the first secret. Okay, then we'll start it up, start the belt sander up again. We'll try another knife. Now this one I'm going from right to left again, pulling it with my left hand, and that way your berm is always on the same side. You never get mixed up. You know, you're doing it consistently the same every time. Now this one I didn't get it quite flush. You can see there I didn't get it quite as flush as I should have, and I'm using that left side of the belt more heavily than I should have. It should be flatter against the belt. That was kind of an error on my part, but it still turned out pretty good. I still got a pretty good edge on it. You'll find sometimes that it gets a little hot too. You'll see some of these where the edge kind of browns out just a little bit because of the heat, but that doesn't hurt anything. That's just fine. And again, you can feel that berm. You feel that berm on that left side there of the knife, and as long as you can feel it all the way along there, that's the first ticket right there. Okay, so now we'll cut her off and go from there. Okay, so after putting it on the belt and getting the berm, there's a distinct berm all along this side. My last swipe on the belt was on this side, so the berm is on the opposite side, which is here. And you can feel that. It's just a lip that's just kind of rolled right over to the side there, and it's a lip of metal. And it's you can feel it. I mean, you can almost, it just stops your fingers. It's so pronounced. And that's the stuff that you've got to take off in order to get the sharp edge. So what we're going to do here now, this is the Buck Hone Master number 136, and this basically just goes on the back of the knife, and then you just tighten it up nice and tight so it maintains the same angle every time on the stone, every swipe. So here we go. Get some of this stuff out of the way. I usually like to hand hold this, but it's kind of hard to do the video and hand hold it and make sure everything's in focus. So I'm just leaving it static on the table here. And I can do it usually quite a bit faster when I hand hold it, but this gives a good demonstration. And see, this is maintaining that exact angle that you need with this angle guide. And after a dozen or so strokes, you can feel it with your finger, and there's still a little bit of a berm there, not much. And this is about a 1,000 grit ceramic ultra stone, and it's as smooth as a baby's bottom, just as smooth as it can be. You wouldn't even think that it would sharpen a knife. It's so smooth it feels like glass. And this is the secret to a real fine edge, is the real fine stone. Oh yeah, it's feeling pretty sharp now. See if it'll shave any hair. Oh yeah, no problem there. See there? It's as sharp as you can put it on your fingernail, and it sticks right in your fingernail there. It won't slide down if you put it straight. That's another good test, is by putting it on your fingernail. So, shaved some good hair off my arm there. Now, I still feel just a smidgen bit more berm on there, so I'm gonna give it just a few more strokes. Yeah, these are pretty sharp. So we'll take this angle guide off now, and the last touch is a steel, and I mean, this is extremely smooth steel. This is stainless steel, and it's just as smooth again as a baby's bottom. Feels just like glass. It's so smooth, and it's designed to give an angle also. Those are, as you can see, 35 degrees. Shows it better right side up, 35 degrees. And this isn't necessary. I mean, this isn't a must do, but it does help. And you go straight down on this, and that just puts the finishing edge. It takes any roughness off and makes it quite sharp. Whoops. The angles. Doesn't have to be exact. And there you have it. Oh, she's sharp. She's really sharp. This is my favorite way of doing it, is holding it handheld instead of on the table. Goes a little faster this way. There's still a little bit of a berm on there. Okay, so I don't have any real big tomatoes, regular sized tomatoes. All I've got is cherry tomatoes, but this will give you an idea of the sharpness of the knife. It cuts through tomatoes, cuts through anything quite well. But here we go. We'll see how ouch! Now look at that. I see that I cut myself already. Anyhow, here we go. See how thin we can slice these things. They're pretty thin. Look at that. Now, they're pretty little tomatoes to try to slice, but if I can hold on to it, keep it from just like that. Nice and thin. Okay, well, that's how you sharpen a kitchen knife. Hope this will help somebody out. It makes for a pretty sharp edge there. Does a fine job. Have a great day and enjoy your knives.